Hello and welcome to the KSL. I'm Tasis with Artosis, and I like the music we're playing here. It's very Matrix 2 Rave in the Cave. You know what I'm talking about?
The best part of any Matrix, if you ask me.
I gotta turn
Nothing
myself down a
stinky
little
about
bit here.
that.
Which one of these is mine? Is this me over here?
It's this right there.
All right, let me turn this down.
Yeah.
There we go. That's perfect.
Is it too loud?
Ow, actually, yes, I can turn you down a little bit more. Welcome to the KSL. We've got a lot of StarCraft to go through today. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's good to be back from BlizzCon, Artosis.
Yeah, happy to be back. Happy to get to come down and cast some KSL. I got to watch some of it. Thank you to Rapid and No Regret for filling in for us while we were gone. But we're back now and excited to see the matches here today. We have some really good ones.
Yes, we do. Going into this, we've seen the revival of StarCraft 1 here in Korea. It never really went away, but it's back and stronger than ever before. Still one of the most popular games here in PC cafes. And it's good to have a tournament like KSL when we normally have no StarCraft at all. I mean, at this time of the year, late November, I guess mid-November to late November, and all of December, we don't have any tournaments. But it's nice to squeeze something in like this and kind of keep the blood flow of StarCraft going here in Korea.
Yeah, and we're kind of speedrunning this tournament as well. So
Yes.
if you like your StarCraft 1, you better like it a lot because we have so many games here today. We're going to do 4 best-of-5s today, 4 tomorrow. Next week, we're going to have that same schedule, and then the week after that, round of 4. Week after that, finals. Bing, bang, dumb.
Bing, bang, bum.
Done.
Yeah. So if you're joining us now, regardless of what time you're in, leave the stream on, hang out with us all day. We do have a short break halfway through the matches that we do here today, depending on time. You know, sometimes you get a StarCraft 1 series that goes on for a really long period of time. Other times they can be very short, but there should be some intermission here, kind of like we're going to play.
Yeah.
Kind of like this is...
That's when we all go out and have cigars while talking to each other.
That's right. We have our
obnoxiously.
cocktails.
Yeah.
We have our glasses that are held up by sticks like this,
Yeah.
and we all talk about what we thought.
We call those stems in the opera industry.
Oh, okay. Good to know. But we're going to have some small little break here, and then when we come back, we're going to jump right into 2 more best-of-5s.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. We're going to eliminate one player today and advance one today, but all the decider matches will actually be next week. 1 week from today, we'll do all the decider matches, and then the day after that, the round of 8.
Yes. And so, I'm looking forward to more marathon KSL days. These are the longest casts that we get to do here in South Korea, but with nothing else going on, I say bring it on.
Oh, absolutely.
I say come at me, StarCraft matches.
Come at
Come
me.
at me.
Tasis comes back with a bloody
If
lip.
you're on
He's like,
Twitter,
"Okay,
though,
I've had
don't
enough."
at me. But if you're a match, come at me.
Wow.
I'm ready to cast the hell out of today.
All right. Yeah, today is going to be quite good. You know what I love about today and tomorrow?
What?
Is that between the 2 days we have 4 Terrans, which is like how it
Yeah,
should be.
and you know what? We were doing the qualifiers, and we kind of held the Terrans away from you somehow, some way. We did not have a lot of Terran matches. I think we had 1 Terran versus Terran. Oh.
Well, Terran versus Terran isn't even a matchup that exists.
I don't know what's
as far as
coming.
I know.
Do you feel it? Oh, no. Okay. It's just a song changing. I thought we were going to transition into something
well, it
else.
sounds a little bit too epic for just us
right?
being on camera.
I thought someone was going to walk out or something crazy was going to happen.
Like, no, nothing's happening. Sorry.
No, but earlier on we were mentioning that you didn't get to cast very many TvTs here.
No,
not many Terrans really in general.
We could get a TvT today. If we do, it's likely the loser match. This group has 2 very good Terran players in it, but they're against the best PvT and the best ZvT in the world, respectively. So it seems far-fetched to see a Terran advancing from this group, even though we have 2 strong ones.
It might be tough. Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens coming into this here. It was really fun to see, especially when we did the qualifiers earlier on, just all the weird builds that you don't normally see at the pro level, but you would probably experience on the ladder, for instance. And
yeah, actually, that day that you casted with No Regret while I was at Corrupted Cup, myself and Rapid were watching some of the matches in the hotel room, and it was hilarious, some of these builds. I was like, wait a minute, what is this guy doing? He attacks with like 8 Goliaths and 8 tanks.
Yeah,
like, what? That can't work, right? And then, of course, it didn't work, so my life stayed in its right balance.
So here is our schedule, as you can see. Here before you, join us for today and tomorrow, and then we're going to be back again with a single elimination and the finals.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, man. I'm very, very excited about all of these matches.
Yeah, and there's a lot on the line here. 30 grand, 30,000 US dollars roughly for first place. That is so much money, life-changing amount. And of course, here's our map lineup. We've got Eddie, Fighting Spirit, Circuit Breakers, Matchpoint, Overwatch, Neo-Sylphid, and Blockchain.
Yeah, it's a good map pool. I really like it. I'm actually a big fan of Matchpoint coming back into the fray, and I think that Eddie is an interesting 4-player map. It's kind of funny to see what maps are becoming very standard. Like, for instance, Overwatch and Neo-Sylphid. I think Neo-Sylphid is a very solid map, a very cool map. And, of course, Overwatch, I've talked with a lot of players about this. We're pretty sure Overwatch is absolutely the best 1v1 map in the world right now.
Think so?
Like,
I think that's actually
much
pretty
better
fair
than anything else.
I liked Overwatch. Did you not like Destination very much?
Oh,
I
no,
thought
I
Destination was a great map as well for one-on-one.
Destination right now would be completely broken and terrible to watch because
Why is
there's
that?
too many bridges, too many ramps.
Oh,
so
too much congestion on the map.
Yeah, you can't actually move anywhere, whereas Overwatch is much more wide open. Anyways, let's take a look at these the groups so far. Of course, Mini and Rain, no big surprises. The finalists of the last season advance in first place from their groups. Unfortunately, we lost Stork and Rush already. Rush actually putting out some pretty quality games. I thought he played quite well there. Stork having a hard day.
And here's our matchups going in today. We're going to have Sharp versus SnOW, and then Sorry versus Soma.
Yeah, it's a very tough one. I think that Sharp's style is good against SnOW, but I think SnOW is just a little bit better than Sharp, so that could be a tough one for him.
You know, we had SnOW get to the finals just recently in ASL, and what we thought was going to be a really close match, and I guess we should have known better because it's Flash, and he rarely has actual close matches, let alone matches that he even loses. But SnOW got smashed, but I still think it is fair to say that SnOW is the best Protoss versus Terran player in the world still.
Yeah, probably. I don't see anyone that's risen up to really take that from him. I mean, there's other ones that are really good. Stork oftentimes puts out good PVTs. Best, of course, an amazing PVTer. But SnOW's kind of got his own thing going on. He's very, very strong, very abusive, and just good all around. So, you know, again, I think it's an interesting match, though, because Sharp we would put it 3rd or 4th best Terran in the world, probably. And I think his style is better. We talked about this because, of course, SnOW did just get 2nd place in ASL to Flash, where he got wrecked. But remember when he smashed through Last? And Last plays a very standard kind of defensive macro style. He'll mix it up, but not, you know, his general style is that, whereas Sharp is very aggressive comparatively. Yeah. And I was mentioning a lot during that match because people are like, whoa, SnOW is crushing. But I think that Sharp's slightly more aggressive style can be a bit better against SnOW than someone like Last, in my opinion.
I agree. Sorry, I had to recover with some kind of musical transition there since my claps didn't work earlier. I had to go with the guitars playing. Here's Sharp right now. And as you were saying, Artosis, this guy loves to get in his opponent's faces. He wins a lot of times off of not just one big battle, but a lot of blows and jabs throughout the game. You know, StarCraft 1 is a game where you can know the possibility of an attack, but be hit so hard. Look at this, he's getting his rotator cuff going here before the match starts. You can know an attack's going to happen and still get completely wrecked by it because the other player is so good at controlling, is so good at multitasking and abusing the AI. Yeah. And here we go with SnOW stretching the pits out, getting the chest opened up.
Yeah.
This guy makes PvT look so easy. He does stuff that you just don't see Protosses get away with, especially in the early game, but also his late game is phenomenal. I think it's fair to say he doesn't really have a weakness PvT. Would you agree?
Flash would be his weakness. But yeah, he's someone that, the thing is, he will not just punish you really, really hard.
Yeah.
He'll get like a little edge and then drag it out a mile because he knows how to get into carriers and things like that very cleanly.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I was to coach a Terran to beat him, I would actually, it would be more of a Sharp style where you're trying to get vultures in. You're trying to screw with them with some off timings where you're hitting, for instance, right before a Reaver would pop out.
Right.
You know, maybe you're hitting before that Reaver gets out and going into a Wraith or something like that. I think that that's the type of way you want to play against SnOW.
I think that's a good point. I think that's definitely one way to try to approach him going into this. Reaver play has been remaining popular right now in PvT. It's maybe 10% less popular than it was, I think, at the start of this year, but still a very common place to have here. And SnOW is the best Reaver user in the game. I would not be surprised to see Sharp go for some dropship play. Maybe not necessarily on Eddie, but in general here. I think throwing in a starport and trying to spring a vulture drop on your opponent early on is definitely a great way to play the matchup. And we're going to start this off on Eddie. As I said earlier, both our players in the lobby, we should be going. Oh, we're going right now. Okay, introducing our players. In the top right, we've got SnOW. In the bottom right, we've got Sharp.
There they are. Okay. So, Eddie. The one thing that you really need to know about Eddie for the early game would be that it is a low ground main. So, pressure from Protoss can be a little bit more scary. This means that you either need to commit to getting a bunker up very quickly, or micro very, very well and know your timings for pushing up your ramp as a Terran, because, you know, crazy things can happen otherwise.
Right.
If a Protoss gets to the top of your ramp and you don't have a clear push-up, like if you have to do something like get siege mode or a dropship before you get out, the game is basically done at the top level.
Yeah. It's the same, yeah, for both sides. If you get contained as a Terran or contained as a Protoss, in this matchup,
you got
either
contained
way.
as a Protoss, it means that you lost a Nexus first and you're dead already.
Yeah, exactly.
that's the only time that happens.
Yeah. It is definitely one of these things that is, in certain matchups, the most important feature early on is that you need to make sure you have control of that ramp, of that high ground, because otherwise, yeah, you'll absolutely be boxed in. And one of the reasons why that is so important is because it's hard to move units up and down ramps, especially large numbers of them. Yeah. And so even a small army on the top of a ramp, and it's true in most of the matchups, but especially in this one, where damage is dealt so quickly. You know, Dragoons can do so much damage to mech units as they're trying to come out, and splash damage is a nightmare for Protoss to deal with. It's so important that you're able to avoid that.
Absolutely. So looking at their build orders right now, everything looks pretty normal. That's actually a slightly fast scout of Sharp, but nothing too notable going on. SnOW scouting quite a bit later after his Cybernetics core. See what direction he goes in. Is he going to go to the south immediately? Yeah, it looks like it. So that's a nice first scout there from SnOW.
Yeah, this is one of the few RNG features of the game. It's not a built-in RNG thing, but you know, you don't know where they are. There's 4 spots. Finding them right away always gives you a big amount of just relief overall, because then you say, okay, I know what he's doing, and I'm going to at least try to stop it. Not that you know exactly what he's doing, but you know what he might not be doing, I guess I should say. Okay, yeah, he's not proxying me. You know, you can check and see how many SCVs are mining gas. You can get confirmation as to what he's doing. And by the way, SnOW backs out immediately, doesn't even do the one loop that we normally see Protosses do to circle around the gas, instead pops out right away.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably good. He saw the Marine with a second one building. Sharp actually had to cut SCV production for a little bit, and this is kind of a very safe build he's gone for, like his quickest factory, and then Marines almost non-stop from the beginning. You'll be just slightly lower on SCVs, but it's easier to make sure you hold your high ground. So Sharp being careful and making sure he's not going to lose anything stupidly early on.
And so far here from the Protoss, we don't really have a very good idea of what exactly... excuse me, I guess we do now. He wants to make a Nexus here on the high ground. You got to wait and see. Making the Nexus right away. And this is, I think, a Nexus on 21. And so you basically want to cut a Dragoon for a second and then get this set up. We might see a second gate thrown down here as well, but this is one of the more common openings that we see here in PvT.
Yeah, it's definitely a very solid opening. It's probably the most popular expand at the moment. As far as Sharp goes, you see that he's already produced a bunker, is starting his command center now. It is a little bit behind the Nexus, of course. So as far as build orders go, SnOW has a slight upper hand and throws down a rather quick Robo as well, which isn't surprising for SnOW.
Right, SnOW loves to use that Robo a lot, especially early on. Now, we'll see if he actually goes for a Reaver, if instead he decides to go maybe for just Observers and does more of a passive, reactive play.
Now, as far as Sharp goes, it's interesting to see what his building is now, okay? Right now he has to decide, does he want an academy, an armory, or another factory, or, I mean, there's a possibility of a starport as well. But one of those has to go down very, very soon here, and that's really going to dictate how Sharp is going to play the mid game here.
So there's that second gateway. Now, keep in mind the initial SCV didn't get, correct me if I'm wrong, the first SCV didn't get to scout from the Nexus, is that right?
Yeah,
it was
first
body
SCV
blocked.
left, and then the Nexus got built.
Right. And then he tried to go back up, but the position of the Dragoon, he actually
did he stop it from spotting it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's the first time the SCV comes in there and confirms what's happening. Now, it seems like Protosses have a little bit less options that work at the highest level of play against the Terran early on that aren't super cheesy.
Oh, okay, because I was about to do my fake belly laugh.
I know.
But then you put in.
I know that you're
super
damaged
cheesy.
good, Zartosis, and this is immediately
Well,
setting you down this
myself
path.
and all my Terran brethren, but.
So you generally expect them to take the Nexus, but even just seeing it, then you go, okay. I know what kind of game I'm in right now. What do you think about these two tanks coming across the map?
You know, this is good. So what he's doing is he's walking over to the ramp. He's trying to clear anything like a probe or any units that are coming in, because he's actually added the second factory. I didn't get to really talk about it too much yet, but this is a really good build to use against SnOW in general. Because SnOW does play things like Reaver almost every game and things like Carrier Rush, I think that factory expand into two-factory push is one of the best plays that you can do against him, and that's exactly what we see here from Sharp.
Yeah, there's a little bit of weakness here for the Protoss when they try to tech into carriers, and this is a carrier game, by the way, and we know that because the air weapons upgrade is happening over at the Cybernetics core.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't go Arbiter quite this quick. You need your Citadel before you start the start port as well, or the Stargate. Looks like Sharp is laying a couple mines over here. He was just kind of scouting to see if there was a third. I'm surprised he sat there, to be perfectly honest, and lost the two Vultures. I think as soon as you get and lay a mine, you should probably get out. And now he's going to go up and chase these goons, and will force them back. But, I mean, this area is not that impactful right now.
Right. You can see he tries to actually snipe that one tank, but Sharp knows better. He pulls away immediately. And he's going to try to pursue this for the time being. Now, in this build, and it really is more of a balancing act build for the Protoss and trying to throw the Terran off balance here as far as unit composition. You're trying to get enough Dragoons out and then also get carriers with that. And, you know, for the Terran, they need Goliaths to fight your carriers. But at the same time, you need tanks and Vultures to fight the Protoss' ground. So it's very tough, and if you can dominate in one of those two, whether you win with your carriers or win with your ground army, you tend to win the game. So the balancing act here for Sharp is going to be very tough. He cannot afford to lose tanks. You can send Vultures out to scout, but you really don't want to be wasteful. I don't think that with carrier builds it's any more about scouting once you know that it's there. It's a lot more about just having the right push. If you have a really good push against the Protoss, a lot of times there's not much they can do, but especially, by the way, if they've skipped Reaver. It becomes much more plain and straightforward in that regard. When you have a Reaver, the math gets a lot fuzzier. You can use all these techniques to try to hit bits of their army, pick up and pull away.
You know, I want to say that right now, looking at these builds, SnOW is just deflecting anything that Sharp's doing. Sharp wants to get in, he wants to mix it up, and SnOW is just saying absolutely not. He's clearing mines with just a small set of goons. The rest making sure that he doesn't take any damage. Sharp isn't 100% sure what's going on because he did go for the second factory. He didn't follow up with the starport. He's getting a kind of late academy because he got an eBay instead. These are all actually very normal choices, but unfortunately for this situation, he is not going to realize the speed of the carriers until it's basically time to move out.
Right. I feel like, I don't know about you, Artosis, did you feel almost like SnOW we should expect this from SnOW on this map? SnOW really likes these types of builds.
Yeah, he does like these types of builds, and they're good here. I think that this is a strong build for the map, like to just go quick carrier. I think that 2-base carrier, look, someone made a joke question today on the Pylon Show about, like, what would I say positively about Protoss? Apparently there's this meme going around that I think that Protoss players aren't as good as other players. But
I can't believe that people would even think that.
That's ridiculous. But one thing I can definitely say is I think that he's chosen his build really wisely. You know, if you are playing this build against, let's say, Last or Flash, oh yeah, there he goes. He finally gets a scanner off and sees carriers popping. But if you do this build, 2-base carrier, no Reaver, nothing, right? And you're against Flash or Last, the 2 mechanically best Terran players, they will actually, because they normally open, you know, with fast armory and academy, so they'll see it, they'll adjust their timing, and they will roll through you when you do this build a lot of the time. A player like Sharp is more likely to mix it up like we've already seen, and thus, this is a better build against a player like Sharp, in my opinion. So I think that SnOW has actually very wisely chosen this build for his opponent and for the map.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yeah, I do feel, especially if I try this build, if I'm against somebody who just plays straight up, I tend to die. Unless it's a map I can really exploit. Well, the thing is, if they get caught off guard, a lot of these Terrans go super single-player mode. You know, they take a 3rd base, and that's when you're basically going to win.
Now, the key here is holding the high ground as Protoss. Yes. You want to engage when you're on the high ground and they're coming up so that they get missed shots. SnOW actually runs away from his high ground right here. I feel like he should be fighting a little bit. Okay.
And for those who are less acquainted, the light blue area here on the screen is the high ground.
Yeah,
the dark blue area is the low ground. It might not look like that, but that is the case.
The gray strips are the kind of in-between, the ramp part of it. So, yeah, it makes a big difference where you're standing. It also blocks vision and things.
By the way, the Dragoon runaround here is very important because he can intercept Goliaths. Basically, Terran units are pretty bad against Dragoons unless the tanks are sieged up, or you have like you know, +3 attack, +2 armor, upgrades like that. But and so to come in from behind, you're pulling their army away. They are trying to reposition, and it's buying you time because if you can get up to 6, 7, or 8 carriers,
oh my God,
you're in a very good spot here.
SnOW's playing so well. Like he's kiting here with like 10 goons. He's bringing him off the center of the map. I mean, this is some beautiful play. He's whittled down some of the units, and he's just kind of wasting Sharp's time. Yeah, look at that. Sharp's on, like, what was that? That was 5 facts.
Yeah.
That's not enough to sustain a push against this. If you're on 2 bases trying to actually kill someone, you know, you either hit right away with a push like this, or you go up to, like, 7 facts and 2-1.
Oh, how funny, by the way. The eBay of all buildings to lose in a situation like this. That's actually very problematic because the carriers can counterattack now. We're at 4 carriers now. I think there's the 6th. I'm sorry, the 5th and the 6th should have spawned, I think.
You might be right. I tell you what, though. Look at that. He lost 5 goons.
Yeah.
And this push, like, I mean, the game could have been decided already, but he made that wonderful move with the Dragoons. A really great play from SnOW.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And now SnOW is just picking off siege tanks here. Really, really nicely done. Now he'll just back up. You don't want to fight right there. The tanks are all siege up. Just buy more time. Of course, he should have a Citadel right now getting Zealot legs as well. That is a huge, important upgrade at this point.
Okay, so the carriers are going to come out now, hit these Goliaths. Now, don't give up hope on Sharp yet, guys. I think Sharp actually has a real chance to still break him here. He's bought time. Now, in case you're wondering why these Zealots are slow, with this build, you just don't quite have enough time to get Zealot speed. If he can target down, however, these tanks, and I don't think he can, he might be able to chip off a few of those tanks, and suddenly it's Dragoons and Zealots versus Goliaths and a small number of Vultures.
Yeah, look at this. The Zealots are doing an okay job tanking a little bit here for the Goons.
Yeah.
If he can pick off the,
you know, he might have this. I think this is actually enough.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely think so. I think that he basically won this game when he had Sharp chase 10 Goons for 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was beautifully done. And this is the death throes of the Terran here because he's, you know, two base Terran, getting the 3rd becomes really, really frustrating and complicated, you know? Mm-hmm. And so there we go. GG. Very beautifully done by SnOW. And that was not just, I think, a game about, okay, him picking the right build. I think that also really effectively highlighted him executing that perfectly. And as you were saying, Artosis, with those 10 Dragoons.
Yeah, no,
you run around and
to give 5 Dragoons to slow that push, because again, Sharp was consistently producing. He went up to 5 factories rather quickly. You have to hit with that because, like for instance, if you're on 2 bases, you can technically support 7 factories.
Right.
So if you're chasing Dragoons around and missing your timing, suddenly every factory that's missing, that's more than 2 Goliaths a minute that you're missing out on in the battle, you know? So
yeah.
you just start doing some very simple math. If you're chasing stuff around and your push is now delayed by 3 minutes, that's like...
I gotta say...
It's 4 Goliaths per minute at that point. You have a whole group of Goliaths less than you would have. You have less siege tanks. I mean, because you're not covering them as well.
He should have pushed him back a little bit and then planted some mines to keep the Dragoons away and then just gone with the push. He probably would have won.
I like moves like that.
Yeah.
I think that tactically, that is a fantastic move. If you can scan and kill the Observer that's with a group like that that's trying to draw you away, that's a beautiful way to deal with it. A tough situation. Sharp tried to punish him, and SnOW just kind of outplayed him there. That was a beautiful game by SnOW.
Game 2 will be on Circuit Breakers. This is the biggest map, right? It has to be. There is no map bigger than Circuit Breakers in this pool.
In this pool, I believe it feels like the biggest.
It tends to lend itself for macro games, but every once in a while you do see a rush on a map like this. Again, SnOW, the best PvTer in the world, is looking fierce. He's looking dominant. He's looking untouchable. Let's see how he opens here. Does Sharp take a risk? Does Sharp try to play a macro game? He certainly can. But SnOW with Arbiters, maybe even Carriers. I don't think you want to go Carriers on this map, but maybe. You know, sometimes SnOW does the unexpected, and that's why it ends up working,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I don't like Carriers on this map.
I don't, as a Protoss player, I don't, but sometimes you'll see players do something that's so weird just because. And our game is ready to go. This is game 2. So in the bottom right, we've got SnOW. And in the top left, we've got Sharp. Already, I think Protoss is going to be pretty happy with these spawns. You're very far away from the Terran. This is a map you tend to go Arbiter on. And maps that you tend to go Arbiter on are maps that usually the Protoss wants the game to be drawn out.
Yes, for sure.
And force the Terran to really wrestle with the late game.
Yeah. If you play a very strong Arbiter game in positions like this, the Terran has to play a long positional game where they kind of whack-a-mole your 4th bases. We'll see if it gets into something like that. Of course, spots like this can really favor other moves as well. Like, for instance, if you go for a Nexus first, that is a beautiful play across spawns. Not many Terrans have the bravery within them to try to rush cross-map with Marines and SCVs against that. I know I certainly don't.
So, again, let's see how these two players open. If we had to go to the most vanilla play styles, it would be a Nexus first, or a Nexus on 21 after the first Dragoon, and then probably you try to get a read on the Terran, take a 3rd base eventually. Terran probably going to set up for getting armories eventually and a quick 3rd command center. Much more of a passive game. If we're going to go to, I guess what you'd call the most textbook TvP, Terran goes for the upgrades, Protoss goes for spellcasters in the super late game.
Yeah, and Circuit Breakers in particular, this map gets really big really quickly because it's pretty easy, if you're not horizontal spawns, to take a 4th basis Terran like instantaneously. Like you take your 3rd, then you take your 4th. Not building the command centers at the same time, but basically you land and then you're like, all right, take the 4th. I've secured this area and now I can defend everything. And when we do see situations like that, you'll see Protoss go up to 5, 6 bases. The game just explodes as far as macro goes.
And I would say, actually, because I know a lot of times people think that the only people that are watching this, especially if you're old school like us or other old school people, but we do have a lot of people that are curious about StarCraft 1 and want to jump into it. Practicing the macro builds that are typical for these 2 races on this map is probably one of the easiest ways to learn the mechanics of StarCraft 1.
Yes.
If you can get up to 4 bases macro-wise without missing a beat, without missing a depot as Terran. If you get up to 4 or 5 bases as Protoss, teching into Arbiters, and not missing pylons, you can pretty much play against solid Koreans on a map like this.
Yeah.
Like people that have got a 20-year experience in this game.
And if people are wondering why that would be, why this map and not others, it's pretty easily defensible on 3 to 4 bases, and the main bases are relatively well made. A lot of older maps, you look at a map like Fighting Spirit, try to fit 9 factories at the bottom left. I dare you, show me. Show me how to do it. You can't do it.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I was talking earlier about how we tend to see the macro games, right? Well, here's one of the openings that Terran can do to try to punish a Protoss. Now watch the body block, good lockout. It's actually so important the Marine gets in front physically of the probe and doesn't let it in.
Yeah, you can't fully block the ramp, but you can block the probe.
Yeah,
like
for a second, and they have to like move in, and that's exactly what the
Dragoons do. And that's all you need. If you body block it like once, you generally get it.
So, the 2 Marines are, now going to lock this out, and I think SnOW on paper should lose this. So, Protoss anticipates a quick command center here. You're so far apart. If you made 2 factories in the main, even then it'd probably be holdable for the Protoss. But on this map, you can actually hide a factory just to the center right, and suddenly the 2 factory comes out fast enough.
Yeah, it comes a lot faster.
You're going to hit them hard.
Yeah, and this can be tricky for Protoss as well, because in a situation like this, especially when you see this Dragoon, you want to see this Dragoon badly.
Yes.
Because you can lay mines in between, and retreating units are going to explode at that point. So if you can get even 1 or 2 units in that way, it's almost like a free victory.
Now, this is how we saw Rain lose to Flash in the lead up to the ASL finals. Right? That was ASL? It was in round of 4, I believe?
I don't recall.
I think it was,
proxy fact.
Yeah, he laid mines behind it and then ran back.
Yeah,
oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God, he's going to see it.
Wow. Well, he knows Sharp very well. That's amazing that he found that.
Yeah.
That's so important as well. And now you can see he is going to start being very careful here. Okay, the Dragoon going to come out. Oh, God, those mines laying. Oh, man, Sharp's looking good right now. Really good moves.
We don't have any probe or anything here to build a wall. I think if you put it just right, you can actually block that. Now, he's bought a little bit of time. It looks like he's going to kill 1 Vulture.
It's good micro from SnOW. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that Sharp is getting all those mines down, like, that's what he needs to do. Even if you get an observer out, it's going to take a long time to clear those anyways.
Right.
The rest of his army coming down. Like, the Nexus is forfeit. You can't save the Nexus if Sharp wants to kill it.
Okay,
but it looks like Sharp's going for a kill.
Now, this is either going to end the game right away or it could cost Sharp the game. So he's held this off. He's going to go for the probe drill here.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. You can't let the bunker finish because the bunker is a death sentence.
Right. Either that or you kill all the Marines and the bunker doesn't matter. But
yeah, I guess that's
another possibility here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Vulture's coming forward. We might need another probe drill here. Here it comes now. 1 more Dragoon eating a shot here. The bunker about to finish, and it does.
Oh, that's just... Well, that's going to be that, man.
Yeah.
You don't hold from there. He's already lost so many probes. He really needed to shut this down. And now even the tanks coming up, getting their pot shots as well.
Oh, hold on. He might get 1 tank kill. Yes.
All right. Well, he gets a tank kill, but loses every goon.
Yeah.
That is that, man. That's well executed from Sharp, no question.
I actually was surprised he went up there, but it did work out. He had a very good read. He had a very good handle on this.
Yeah, I think the reason why he went up the ramp is because he knew 2 goons were outside of the base.
Yeah,
and in a situation like that, how are they going to have enough to stop you?
And there they go. They just get blown up.
Yeah.
And so, it's so hard to handle this. Now, there is an observer out here. It's worth pointing that out. The problem is that so many probes have been killed.
Yeah.
Now, he is also going to get the tank, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Yeah. He is going to get that.
Well, the funny thing is he can technically hold this. Like, Sharp can't kill all his buildings. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he can actually stay in this game. The range goons, the observer, he can work his way through this and still, like, have 2 Nexuses. But
I think that the problem is that 2 Vultures coming out are going to kill probes faster than you can make them, and they will get the kills, even if you get more and more Dragoons out here. I think he's down to 4 probes. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there was
GG.
basically when the bunker finished, that was about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool though that SnOW even scouted that was occurring, and Sharp still just nailed it. Well executed there by Sharp. Those can be very hard to pull off. His micro was strong, and this is something that can happen. If your Dragoons are out across the map pressuring, sometimes it's better to stay safe and stay home. He wanted to slow Sharp down somewhat.
Well, this is something we've seen from a lot of Protosses, is that they really enjoy the pressure on a bunker opening. And when I say bunker opening, I mean at the natural, right? Hitting those, hitting that bunker, forcing SCVs to repair it because the Terran's fast expanding. But this is hard countered by the Proxy Factory Mine Trap. You lock out those 2 Dragoons, and suddenly this 2-factory push that you could have held if it was a traditional 2-factory push is no longer handleable, excuse me. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Sharp versus SnOW continues on here at the KSL. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue on our series here at the KSL, and you want to know what is on my mind, Artosis?
What is that?
Oh, I thought we were going to go to a camera shot of us. What if they don't go to a camera shot of us?
Then you're
After
just a
all
clown.
this work we did. Okay, we are going to go to camera. All right. See, that was a timing. I was going to say Reavers are on my mind.
Yeah.
Because I think SnOW needs to make them if he's going to win this series.
I think you're probably right.
How hard was that?
Mind, Zerglings, but it's not a hat.
Oh, it's not a hat at all?
No, it's not a hat.
This one's a hat?
It's just like a stuffed animal, a teddy. My kids are going to love it, though. It's huge and so soft.
How am I looking?
No, you look good like that. You look good like that. Yeah. Because its face, like, just... This is what I think's inside your head and on top of your head, basically.
This is what my casting looks like, is captured right here. They gave us this as a gift here. Thank you, Blizzard.
Yeah. I like it. That's really cute. Carbots. It's the greatest.
I love his animations.
Yeah, they're so good.
So here we are. We're going to go to Overwatch.
Yes. Like I was talking about, this is probably the best 2-player map that we have. Like, obviously, in different eras, there were very good 2-player maps for that era. With the way the game is played right now, Overwatch is a fantastic map. Really, really good as far as 2-player maps go.
Let me get this Reaver off my head.
Oh! He says that, guys. He's still wearing it.
You know I'm going to wear this home tonight,
yeah,
okay?
for sure.
I'm going to sleep with this thing on my head. Here, I'll put the Reaver on the desk here. So, going to Overwatch, it's tied up 1-1. I like Sharp in a very Sharp-esque play, hiding that factory. Look, he can't do that again, I don't think.
No.
Not on this map. He's going to have to try to win in a more straight-up game, and I think that's where SnOW really has him. You know, you can cheese a Protoss, and they'll lose. Even some of the best Protosses in the world. Yeah, you can cheese and they'll lose. Same with a Terran. You can cheese a Terran except for Flash, and they'll lose.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to have to see better standard play here from Sharp if he's going to take this series.
Yeah, you can't go to factory or anything here, but I'll be
quiet or Joseph, stop talking. It's on. In the upper left is SnOW, in the bottom right is Sharp. This is a one-on-one map, so we may have some one-on-one map tailored strategies coming into play here.
Oh, absolutely. You have to play 1-player map or 2-player maps very differently. You can see, it's actually pretty even in Protoss versus Terran. So, just to mention a couple things about this map, like I was about to say, like for instance, what we saw from Sharp that last game, you can't 2-factory on this map. It doesn't work. It's a map that, because of the small bridge is the short distance, and there's a bunch of terrain level changes through the center of the map, plus a tiny choke in the very center. When you put all that together, a 2-factory just is literally not even a build that you think about as a Terran. It's just not doable. it's more likely to see a Marine rush. But, you know, you can do things like dropship play if you want to stay somewhat aggressive. I think a lot of games here, though, turn into exactly 3 base, 2-1 timing pushes against carriers. Because Reaver is a very strong opener here, and carriers are just so powerful on this map. They are fantastic on this map.
Do you feel there's any incentive for Protoss to go Arbiters on this map?
You can.
I don't think they're bad on this map at all.
Yeah, no, I think they're good on the map. I definitely think they're good. I just think carriers are better. So it's like you'd prefer to go carriers, and then SnOW is also a carrier Protoss, because you're either a carrier Protoss or you're an Arbiter Protoss. But yeah, so that's... If you went Arbiters, I would never judge a Protoss for going Arbiters on this map. It is strong. It's very hard to defend everywhere from recalls, and you can really get good army flow going around. Lots of train switches and stuff.
By the way, you see this SCV moving in the middle of the map. It looks like he was checking for some kind of a proxy here.
Yeah.
Which is very popular on this map as well.
I felt, though, like he was going to proxy barracks, to be honest.
That's what I thought initially.
That's what
I almost cut you off when you were talking earlier, because I thought he was going to throw something down, but he is, in fact, not going to do that at all. Yeah,
maybe because the probe's in his base, but I tell you, that's when I'm really afraid of the Protoss, is when the probe isn't in my base right away on this map. Because it always is.
Right.
But, yeah, normally you don't... The place that he went to, that mineral-only base, that's just to the left of where they are right now.
Oh, he's going to get this SCV.
Yeah. You never actually scout there for gates, because it's too far off the beaten path. Like, the only place you actually ever scout is directly above the bridge and 3 o'clock. So, yeah, I think he was planning to cheese and then pulled out of it.
Interesting. Factory coming down here now.
By the way, SnOW is killing him right now.
Yeah,
like, this is crazy.
This probe is doing so much damage.
It really is. It really is.
He get 3 more shots.
Oh my God.
Okay, good. Ooh. Good save.
Okay, justice exists. If he had lost that SCV, I was just going to get up and leave. But like, no, guys, no. Yeah. I'm not interested in this butchering. But look, like the fact that he went like 15 factory after his SCV was in the center of the map and he lost an SCV already as well, and he's like making a Marine. I'm just looking at this dumpster fire of an opening for Sharp.
Yeah,
it does not look good. Oh my God, is he actually
going to do it again? You know, we just spent all this time talking about how you can't do this 2 times in a row, but you know what? I feel like we tend to talk about this more in StarCraft 2 than in StarCraft 1, but sometimes doing the same build 2 times in a row on a very different map, especially after your cheese build worked the first time, is among the most meta mind gamey stuff that there is. This is so good.
Oh my God, his pro micro's out of control! What was that? Did you see that?
That was so good. It was so sick.
Oh, I'm both really impressed and really angry right now. That was crazy.
Oh man. Is SnOW gonna lose to the same thing 2 times in a row?
Let's see what his second building
out,
is.
Dude. It's the same build in game 1 from SnOW.
And his same build from Sharp as well.
You normally never do the same cheese like this twice in a row.
Yeah.
In StarCraft 1. Also, builds in StarCraft 1 tend to be even more map specific than they are even in StarCraft 2 at times, because there's so many just little features where, you know, for instance, we mentioned the 1 bridge, right? You don't 2-fact on this because there's 1 bridge, but now this build could be a threat on a map like this, but the fact that we already saw it makes you think, nah, no way. But here we are.
Now, notice that SnOW has actually pulled back. So I'm feeling not too confident in Sharp's ability to win this game.
Yeah.
Not that it is an impossible matter. You can actually do any build on any map. It's just looking at this situation. I think what he'll probably do is go over the little bridge with the units from his main and try to flank with the vultures when the Dragoons are holding the little bridge, and try to lay mines and do a little pincer like that. That's probably the best tactic that I can think of for this situation. Because if the Dragoons are just microing on the bridge, like getting over that with Marine tank, no, like 4 Dragoons will kill 4 Marines and 2 tanks easily in that situation.
Okay, here we have the Terran coming up now. Now, he did not get control of the bridge here. Now, when you wall in like this is actually the Protoss's worst nightmare against the 2 factory. First of all, you have a limited number of pylons, right? Every pylon's very important here. So if you lose a pylon, you end up getting supply blocked, even if you're staying back.
Yeah. And this building placement's awesome from SnOW. Look at how congested everything is. He's taking a lot of damage here. He's not doing anything. He's just losing Marines at the moment.
Wow, really good control here.
Yeah, I think that, well,
oh my God,
that was a great heal.
Good save there, last second. Now, he's going to get the observatory, but that's actually okay because he's got an observer out, and it's more important. He might have even queued up 2 or 3 back in his inside of his base, or inside of the robo, excuse me.
Honestly, the observatory really doesn't matter. All you have to do is hold this push, and you are so far ahead. It's crazy.
Oh, he's going to hold this, and he probably will.
Oh, he is so good at laying those mines fast.
Yeah,
There's a trick to that. It's really hard. But look, this shows the real difference between Game 2 and this game. If you have the Dragoons out or you have them back home. And he didn't even hold the bridge, which could have slowed him down and done even.
Did a single mine actually damage a Dragoon here? I don't think it did.
No, I don't think so. But yeah, wow. Hey guys, this is actually a great learning experience for everyone.
I really like that shield battery. I like the way he handled it. He didn't overdo it with the probes.
Yeah.
I personally learned a lot from seeing the way he handled that attack. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I think that the big takeaway is how different it looks if you have 2 more Dragoons or 2 are out in the map stuck.
Yeah.
Like that's really the power of the build that we saw in Circuit Breakers and the weakness here. It's like, what are you're gonna punch through there? It's very difficult, especially considering normally when you start a 2 factory, you'll almost always have mines already done, and then you'll go into, if you're 1 add-on, you'll go into speed before siege because you need to reinforce. A situation with a wall like that where they're sitting back, you actually want siege, but you never started siege. You always go with speed.
Right. Now, one thing to keep in mind, now these Dragoons are going to get cleaned up here, but I do want to point out, without siege mode, the Protoss can actually just attack into the Terran a lot of times. Dragoons are in a lot of ways actually better than the Terran army if you don't have siege, but he sent some of those out. Now the Wallen's pretty clean up here. He's got a shuttle. He's going to go for Reaver. Now Reaver is in my opinion, the answer to 2 factory.
Oh, it's great.
Because they don't have an eBay.
Yeah.
They don't have an armory, or if they get an armory, then it's weird. You know, then then you drop the Reaver and kill the Goliath, and it's like, okay. So he will come across the map now, start to drop, and there's very little that Terran can do, and Terran is almost guaranteed to lose SCVs.
Yeah, well, lose SCVs are like, you have to start skipping stuff to get turrets out. We see that he's going Starport, but SnOW already saw that, so he can do things like get shuttle speed or bring Dragoons, you know.
Sure.
There's all sorts of ways to counter that Wraith.
Also, I think traditionally we would think of the Reaver as a unit that must only harass, but actually against 2 factory like this, you can use it as part of the attack in the front.
Sure.
If they don't have siege mode, you know, and I'm sure that's coming, but they also don't have a lot of tanks either because he made a lot of vultures. So you're just limited on tanks, and tanks are sort of the actual damage distributor. Tanks with mines, of course, that just protects the tanks. If they try to dive on the tanks, and they lose a lot there as well. Anyway, so whoa! This is actually some pretty sick spamming here.
Yeah. This is some really cool plays from Sharp. Look at this. He's nailing him in this area where the Dragoons don't have as much room to micro, but the micro that he does have here is unbelievable. This is the best micro I've ever seen in my whole life, maybe.
Yeah,
from SnOW.
But what SnOW just did, he made it look so easy.
I have chills.
I have to say, I think a lot of people might look at that and just say, oh, they just shoot the mines down. He had to individual click without bugging the Dragoons. Dragoon's the buggiest unit in the game. He just individually clicked down every mine, moved every Dragoon in the right direction.
He moved 2. He only danced the 2 in the center the whole time. That was magnificent. This game, we need to take the replay, load it up, and go through it on slow, because this game has already had so many beautiful moments.
Okay, here we go. He's going to drop. He takes out the SCV over here. That is the SCVs that are repairing. I don't know why I can't talk today. Repairing the bunker. The Dragoons are going to get to volley that down. I don't see the Wraith here. Maybe that was shot down.
Yeah.
That's it, GG.
Okay.
Wow. Wow, SnOW is so good.
There's so much I need to talk about. So we already mentioned about the difference between the Circuit Breakers 2-fact and this 2-fact and SnOW's unit movement. We talked a little bit about that ridiculous Dragoon micro we saw. That was unreal.
It was incredible.
And then while we were talking about all the other stuff, I was excitedly watching something else that was going on that I have never seen. Now, I'm a little bit of a two-fact aficionado. I have like watched every two-fact game multiple times. I actually do it quite a bit, so I know a lot about the build order in general. But the way that Sharp followed up the failed two-factory, because that's always a very tough question. What do you do from there, right? You failed a two-fact. You're in a very rough spot. You're just kind of be behind. The Protoss can do almost anything. In this game, he actually built vultures nonstop and skipped tanks for a long time. I've never seen that, and like a million things just clicked in my head.
That's a really good play. That's one of the easiest ways to kill the Protoss. Our Reaver's not actually up.
There he is. Cute little guy. But it was so beautiful the way he did it, because when the Dragoons came out, he had a very abnormal amount of vultures, because normally, like you said, oh, you can attack with Dragoons here and, you know, really put a lot of pressure on. That's a normal play from Protoss. And you'll have to have siege tanks to stop that. As a Terran, you're like, okay, well, I'll live. He's not going to kill me, right? I'll lay a couple mines in front to take Dragoon shots. I'll have 2 tanks with siege mode. Okay, everything's fine. But he made nonstop vultures, which could threaten a run by, and he utilized them to trade with Dragoons. And they're a very cheap unit. So it's like his tank count's going to be low for a long time. But that was an awesome tactic. That was awesome.
Had SnOW not perfectly held off the vultures in the middle of the map with like immaculate micro. Like what he did there was so insane. Again, it might look like the Dragoons shoot down the mines and the vultures. The manual play that you have to have as a Protoss player, the targeting, if one of those mines goes off, you can lose all the Dragoons. So really crazy stuff from SnOW. I mean, his control, not just even in that moment that I was talking about, but when he was holding off the rush, was perfect.
Yeah, I think that we can't overstate how good his micro was in that situation, because he had like 3 or 4 goons that were sitting still and then 2 that were running around. And Sharp was laying 5 mines at a time approximately in different locations. So SnOW had to identify which goons were going to hit which mines, where the mines were likely to drag to based on goon positioning, and dance his center goons around and target the correct mines. That, like, just the amount of information that was going into SnOW's head when that was occurring. A lot of times as Terran, when you get that many mines laying off, you're like, well, I'm killing a bunch of goons.
Okay, we're on Neo Sulpin now, which, by the way, just in line with what we were saying earlier. You know, we've had a 2-factory theme here today. This is actually a 2-factory map as well, if you want to go for it. You have the option of going 2-fact here. We've seen Last with some great builds on this map, and Sharp as well, 2-facting. So this has been, frankly, the opposite of the PVTs I thought I was going to be casting today. I thought it was going to be a very long and dramatic macro series with Sharp darting vultures, moving drop ships, pushing in different areas. SnOW teching into arbiters, dropping, harassing, expanding, growing. Not the case at all. It's been down and dirty build order counters. And I'm loving it.
Yeah, and like, I'm overjoyed with the game so far today. Truly, even though they're fast, we're seeing some beautiful moves, some awesome tactics, some killer micro. Like, we're seeing adjustments go on, the way that SnOW insta-pulled back his Dragoon after just very light harassment, for instance. Great plays. That non-stop vulture production, I swear, that is brand new. The fact that this game just continues to show unrivaled depth with how everything gets changed all the time, and people are consistently coming up with new ways to express themselves within the game, and new ways to play with the units, and new orders to make them in and move them around. It's unreal. I've never seen a goon micro situation like that. I've never seen that vulture follow-up. It's just awesome, man. Ridiculous. Brood War is ridiculous.
Yeah, these games have been really exciting. I love that each game we have, it unlocks more of the depth that there is here. It's so cool.
Well, I'm so happy right now. So, SnOW he's looking good. I mean, you kind of expect him to take down every Terran in the world except for Flash. And so far, it seems to me like he's playing a little bit better than Sharp.
I think he's playing a lot better than Sharp, to be honest. The only game that Sharp's won so far, the Dragoons are out of position, and that is what that entire build is hinged on.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, Neo-Sylphid, let's talk about the map for a minute. So this is the best 3-player map that we have currently. For the current way the game is played, at various times different maps were good and bad. As we saw in the stats leading up to this, it seems to be quite Protoss favored as far as statistics go. But I will tell you, as a whiner against Protoss, that I think the map is completely fine for Terran. It's pretty comfortable. You can get a lot of bases relatively quickly. We're just kind of in an era where it has a lot of very strong Protosses, which I think is helping that statistics skew in that direction.
I think this is one of the top 2 eras for Protoss ever.
I think that this is the strongest Protoss era ever.
Yeah,
for
actually,
top of the pro
I can get
scene.
behind that.
Yeah, like the 6 Dragons, weren't as scary as the Protoss we have now.
Yeah,
like you look at the top 5 or 6 Protoss we have right now, and they're all higher up the chain than the 6 Dragons were, really.
Yeah.
Because the 6 Dragons had it was yeah, Stork and Beast were 2 of the best 4, but they're like number 3 and 4, you know?
Yeah, that's
Whereas
true.
Rain, I'm like, well, if Flash isn't playing tournaments, I guess I'm picking Rain to win everything.
Yeah, it's so true.
know?
And SnOW is so scary. He's also really figured PvZ out.
Mini and Best are unreal good right now.
Stork occasionally just comes out and smashes.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, you got a supporting cast that's reasonably strong as well.
Yeah, yeah.
The Harangues of the world.
Oh! The SCV gets by.
I love it. That's
good
great
hiding.
timing. That is great.
Yeah. I haven't actually seen an SCV hidden there, but that makes perfect sense now that I see it. It's very obvious that you know, there's a lot of space down there to tuck something away.
And he actually scouts all 3 pylons, and to not have the Nexus started by then, that's actually what you're looking for.
Because then you know the Nexus is actually there.
Yeah, the Nexus should have started right at... He saw the probe already, so he's like, okay, it's probably a Nexus. Didn't get to see it start, but as soon as you see the 3 pylons in main, you know there's no tech out in the map, unless they are really doing the craziest mind game you ever saw in your whole life, because they knew your SCV was going to get in.
Right. Now, it seems as though we're having SnOW once again do the same build here. Quick Nexus into Robo, getting observers. And we're finally having a game where Sharp is just going to play into a fast expand.
Yeah, and I believe he added his 2nd factory. So that would be a very similar build to what we saw in game number 1.
Yes.
And again, it's a strong build. It's a good build. Wow, he's playing... Oh, the command center hasn't finished. Okay. I was like, what? What is he doing? Like, you don't even have 3 Dragoons up there yet. Why are we afraid?
Oh, Probe's got bugged in the between the gates. He has to re-click those over somewhere.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a staggering, actually. Oh, God, my eyes.
This actually happens in the bottom right here a lot.
Yeah, there's something odd about the diagonal pathing of workers coming through here where they get hooked onto buildings. But you really need to have a clean transfer at this level of play. The drop in income when the probes aren't mining is kind of crazy. Same with SCVs or drones or whatever. But anyways, observatory here in the entrance. SnOW seems to want to just beat Sharp in the most generic fashion possible. He doesn't want to bust out any of his crazy builds at all.
Yeah, he's playing a very careful game.
Even the game he won in game 1 is actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but this build in particular is something I've said a few times I think is good against SnOW. The 3 siege tank move out to factory after your command center. But with the 3 gates going up, SnOW should not die to this.
Yeah, the 3 gates is one of the best answers to this push. Now, let's see how the high ground up here plays a role. This little area right here where they're fighting.
Yeah, it's actually technically not
I'm sorry.
high ground.
Yes, yeah, no, you're correct. It's actually just a ridge.
Yeah. Okay, so he already has picked off a tank. This rush is almost over. Of course, Sharp should micro a little bit more here, laying down mines, forcing him to target that.
Oh, my God!
All
okay,
right.
So far so good, though. Yeah, he's going to chase this away. And this has been completely shut down. 3-gate Dragoon. Now, this is one of the older plays that we've had here from Protoss. It's actually perfectly fine to do this build, by the way.
It's one of the safest builds in the game.
This was my go-to old macro build, like 12 years ago. But it still has play. The Reaver is, I guess, a little bit of a some flavor
That's
into
weird.
this.
Yeah, that's a cute little SnOW thing that he's
I was
doing.
about to say that he was going to take a third and just make more gates, but no, it's SnOW, so of course he's not going to do that. He's going to throw down a Robo support bay.
Well, that would be the normal thing. You hold up a build like this, and you're like, Nexus time!
Yeah,
yay! Because there's no follow-up punch from Terran after a build like this goes wrong.
Also, again, they usually, if they rush like that after expanding, they're E-base late. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh wow, what's he doing?
Well, I guess he ran in there and just got the tank. You know, we've talked about this as one of the bigger ideas here today is that, you know, if they don't have siege, you could just run up and murder the tank.
Yeah,
you know, if they're not paying attention, your Dragoons are actually...
Oh,
I think a lot of Protoss players get damaged into believing that tanks can never be approached, you know, with bunkers there. But if siege mode's not up, you just run up and shoot it down. And
which Protoss players are these? Every Protoss is pretty sure they can kill my tanks.
I guess that's true in modern play. A lot of people run up there, but historically, especially if you're one of the older people watching, you know, people never ran in there. You saw a bunker and tanks alone. Absolutely no way you'd want to attack into that.
Yeah. So let's take a look. I mean, he is taking his third. He's getting that Reaver tech up. Sharp actually has some great scouting. We see red dots on the possible other bases that he could be taking. Of course, those ones that are on the thing that looks like high ground, that ridge area, those are reduced mineral patches and reduced gas. So while it's easy to take and has both minerals and gas, it's not... yeah, we're pointing out there's 2 academies. He's screwed that up. Oh, well. But yeah, it's something that will run out more quickly. Now, Sharp has made a dropship because he immediately went into Starport, which is a pretty common follow-up when you are going for something like expansion 2-factory push, because a lot, like you said, you know, Reavers are good against 2-factory, and that's not just 2-factory before, it's after as well. Oh,
okay,
God.
We have another bust coming in here.
Whoa.
Oh, my God. He's so good with these Reavers.
My God, yeah.
This is why we put a Reaver on the table, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, because we were, you know.
Oh, that was beautiful.
We knew the Reaver play was coming. This is what I wish I was able to do as Protoss. When I do this, all my stuff dies. I leave the game. I don't even let the game go on. I just leave immediately.
It's the right choice.
Yeah. It takes so much practice to be able to breach a position like this. By the way, good switch targeting. He wanted another siege tank shot to come down on that tank.
Yeah, very good.
Oh, my God! Oh, it's okay. No worries. Oh, my God! Nope, not the SCVs.
Well, got a tank, so all good. Speed shuttle out now as well. Did make a Wraith to try to hold this off. Speed shuttle, though, pretty decent against Wraiths. Pretty hard to kill a speed shuttle with a Wraith.
Right.
And look at this. He's actually putting up cannons defensively because he knows there's a dropship or a starport out.
By the way, it's always a good idea to throw down cannons if you see that it's going to be a dropship coming.
Absolutely. Because
it's much more important that you just absolutely don't get hurt by the drop.
Wow. I mean, just SnOW is really putting on a clinic of PvT today.
Oh, yeah.
He's playing so nicely. Now, Sharp's position here, it feels very difficult because SnOW is kind of doing everything right. He's not playing too greedily. He's made those cannons. But sometimes in these situations, what you'll do is just harass nonstop. You'll have like speed vultures out. You'll have your dropship play, and you'll try to hit multiple locations. You know, just see what you can get done while macroing up and then taking your bases a bit later. I'm just trying to imagine like how he could do this against, you know, there's already a Citadel, so obviously legs are going to be done on the Zealots.
Right.
He's up to like 5 or 6 gates. He's got 2 Reavers in a speed shuttle, and his name is SnOW.
Yeah.
How do you, I mean, you're not going to get very much done, I would say.
I might have missed something. He's got no, oh no, he has Stargate. Okay. It was answered the moment that we went to that main. He might be able to just trample Sharp here as he's taking the third, even though there's Arbiter tech coming, and I think in a cleaner game where there was no mistakes made, you would never want to attack in before the Arbiter was out. I think the amount of damage it's done, and we're seeing this in the about 35 supply difference here. Sometimes when they're trying to take the third, you just have enough, especially with shuttles and Zealot legs. You just kind of trample them and make them lift again, and usually the Terran's zoned out of any way to win this game. I just think I unplugged your monitor, Artosis.
That's
so
okay.
We'll have to... oh, no, it's back.
We'll
okay.
live. We'll
okay.
live.
It came back on. I thought, all right, well, guys, this is a cast for the blind. We're going to listen to the sounds. We're going to cast with nothing on the screen. Oh, actually.
Wow.
Big hits, 4 Dragoons.
Yeah. Not enough to make it too much more pushable or anything, but...
No,
everything's good.
He's still probably screwed, but you know.
Well, SnOW's just playing so cleanly. This is like such a scary Protoss to watch because he's not overextending at all.
Yeah, he
did his little extra push earlier, or 2 little extra pushes, got damage, and hasn't overextended since. You're looking for those overextensions when you're behind a Terran.
Also, when he does attack it always works.
Yeah.
It always is perfectly done and works.
It's a scary thing to watch. But, you know what, Sharp, he's definitely not dead, like you said. This is a map where relatively easily you can get a lot of bases as Terran. Picks off the Wraith. Couple Dragoons die, no biggie. Sharp taking this third. Of course, SnOW setting up another base of his own. I'd really like to see him take that mineral base as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we did see a probe there that got sniped, so he has the idea to do it. It's just being slowed.
Okay, so here's what I was talking about. We're seeing the supply ramp up. Now, when you have this many Zealots, mines become no longer the kind of threat that one would imagine they would be. But there's not even mines here, so these Zealots can just be pulled through the attacking army.
This is a lot of vultures.
Actually, I gotta say,
yeah,
I kind of got ahead of myself there, and I think SnOW did as well.
Yeah, he did. You were saying his attacks always work. This is the type of thing Sharp wants to have happen so badly.
Yeah.
That was a huge amount of units that he just spent there.
Wow, I can't believe he held that so easily.
Yeah, and look at the gas bank on Sharp. He's got 700 gas, and he's like just got his 3rd geyser. Replacing those siege tanks is not going to even be hard. He's got 2 atoms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this game just got a little bit closer here for Sharp.
Well, as you can see now, SnOW is going to continue to expand, but Sharp is certainly in this game. The fact that he held that off and the fact that SnOW, I think, was overconfident is really, I mean, certainly Terran doesn't necessarily win this, but this is really good here for him. I mean, this is very much so ideal.
Well, right now, I feel like what we need to see from Sharp is throwing down another command center immediately. Like, just start making it and then float it over.
Uh-oh, there's no turret?
Oh, boy.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Oh, this is not good. Oh, there's a turret. Okay.
Yeah, but
still.
The Reaver's now out, and he can just, oh! What's the HP on that shuttle? It has to be so low?
I think it's high or low yellow. I guess we're not going to click on it to find out, but okay.
No, yeah, in the red. Wow. And this was a great play. This was, oh, now hold on, though. Here comes the dropship. He's going to unload here in the main. Do we have any cannon?
Yeah, there is a cannon.
Okay.
But that's why you bring the siege tank. And now the vultures run over here, lay some mines to slow everything down. And I feel like you should be definitely sniping whatever probes you can at the moment.
Yeah. And you need to bring back a pretty considerable amount of units when you attack into something like this. So he cleans it up. Nicely done, but definitely annoying.
Yeah, this is a start, though, you know? Maybe he doesn't make the cannon again. Maybe you get in there before it's finished or something and get a few more probes. You're causing a little bit of lost mining time. Those are the types of things that Sharp needs to get done while he increases his siege tank count and his upgrades.
Oh! I don't know why the dropship was out there, but
yeah,
that's a pretty big deal. You know, at this phase of the game, you want to be making more and more science vessels because you need EMPs to combat combat arbiters with recall and or stasis. So this really sucks, actually, that he's just lost that, because just having the opportunity to drop vultures and tanks somewhere when the big push comes out is very, very strong.
I almost feel like he needs to make another one, but you're definitely right. You want to be focusing more heavily on your science vessels. But yeah, the harassment is really key right now while he builds up his quality units. Because look, it's maxed out against 133 at the moment. That is to be expected after the way this game has gone so far. Oops.
What? All right.
Yeah, it happens.
I want this specific depot over here. Oh, no more scarabs. Okay, so this is a sad moment for our Reaver friend there. Now, there's still a lot of time here before Terran gets to where he needs to be. Basically, we're going to see Protoss try to seize control of this game again. Now, we did have that huge blunder where Protoss overextended and gave up an incredible amount of supply to try to trample the third. which both me and SnOW thought was going to work. You know what I mean? It's funny, the two Protoss players here.
Yeah.
The caster and the player.
That's not that bad. I'm like, but vultures have speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I saw so many vultures there. No mines. You know, a lot of times the Zealots mine drag. Oh, hold on. Here we go. Now, he wants to recall right over here, and I love the Reaver comboed in with this because it means that you have to actually push into this area that you're trying to fight.
What Reaver?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is an awesome recall. He's in a lot of trouble now. This is slowing everything down. Sharp really needed to cleanly get up to max supply, I think, to have a chance in this game.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think from here, the momentum is so heavily on SnOW's side. He should be able to stay very, very high in supply comparatively. This is a great move, though, picking off. That's huge, actually.
By the way, this Arbiter's going to live through this.
Look at that. That is a lot of probe kills, and those cannons are actually poorly placed.
Oh my God, he was making the CC there. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That's like so ideal for the Protoss. If you just get the CC like that, oh my God, it's so good. So now he's shut him down back onto 3 bases. He's actually, I should say, Sharp is actually supply blocked, by the way.
Yeah, he lost a lot of depots during that, which is so painful. And he lost an armory during that as well. In fact, he lost both his armories. Oh, gosh. That's painful.
Again, SnOW is the Terran killer. Doesn't seem like there's much that, you know, he can, Sharp can do at this phase. I do want to point out, and this is me being very nitpicky, by the way, but you never want your cannons actually there at your Nexus. You want to basically make the cannons in the mineral line, because then vultures can't do anything to you. But look, man, Arbiters are not going to stop coming. I will say, though, on Neo Sylphid, there are 2 extra bases you can kind of take if you can drag the game out long enough. I just don't know that SnOW will allow for that. By the way, do we have any Templars here? This is kind of weird.
No, I don't think he even needs it, to be honest. Like, I think he can just, like, there's just not going to be a 4th base for Sharp, you know? This is very, very tough for him. He's lost so much of his supply depots. He doesn't, like, the only thing I guess he has going for him, I guess he has EMP. He has 2-1, but realistically 3-2 should be, like, just about done in a normal game. And he has, I mean, maybe he gets good EMPs for a bit and makes this close, but SnOW is taking everywhere. SnOW is looking so good. Yeah, look how quick that mines out. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, but the thing is that it mines out fast enough for you to at least it lasts. I should say long enough that you can get the other bases you need.
Yeah, exactly. So I always look at it that way.
Like whenever I take the mineral base in a PvT on circuit breakers, I always think, well, this is just going to fund the 4th, which has the gas.
Yeah, yeah. I actually think about things like that sometimes. Like with that base, I think about it in a similar way. Like I take this so I can take my 4th and 5th.
Yeah, exactly. So we saw Terran try to push out, but you know, SnOW knows he has superior supply, and also upgrades are not looking great for Terran. Oh no, hold on, he's got +2 attack, +1 armor.
Yeah, but he should have 3-2 by now. We're 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know,
I thought he had +2 attack and no armor. So.
Oh geez, yeah. Don't want that. Yeah, SnOW is just like flying around how he likes right now. These Arbiters everywhere, but look how on top of it Sharp is. He is really searching for those. He needs to hit the MPs. This is one of those games where if another recall goes out, all you can do is counterattack and the game is done. Yeah. So he needs to hit EMPs. This is where you play loose. Like some players might look at this and be like, shouldn't he be making turrets to stop that? It's like, no.
No.
Just make your units.
You're digging yourself in a hole if you're doing that.
Yeah, you're never going to win with a defensive play.
Okay, so let's see if this attack works.
I don't like this attack from SnOW.
No, in fact, I'm a little bit surprised even, you know, Stasis is the tanks in the front.
Agreed.
Okay, so that Arbiter should go down. And
I think that was not good
by SnOW It's hard for Protoss at this part of the game. It's funny because it's so easy to just, you know, vacuum up the resources on the map when you've hurt the Terran, but it's really hard to actually get an attack in there that works. You know, even sometimes if you get a good stasis, it's sort of not clear where your units are going to path exactly. That like 1.5 high ground or whatever you want to call it, where the low number of minerals is at.
So Zealots can't. The Zealot barrier.
Yeah.
Let's call it that.
The melee unit barrier.
Yeah.
Is you could put enough tanks up there that the damage can get a little bit crazy, especially at +2. So this is basically Sharp's one hope, is that he can actually squeeze out and keep the, well, he has the 4th here on the upper right, but get a 5th here in the upper left as well. You know, this is why you want to get Templars and actually also get Hallucinate. You need to start hallucinating Arbiters to make them use up their EMPs. All you need to do is get a recall. If you get 1 or 2 recalls off, you've won the game.
Recall is amazing.
Oh, speak of the devil. And by devil, I mean the recall.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me, too, so yes.
Yeah. So Terran counters now.
Well, the Arbiter brings hell to my base, basically, right? So that's, yeah.
By the way, if this push comes into the main over there, sometimes making a lot of DTs is good. There's so many scans going down here to fight armies with Arbiters over them that a few DTs here and there in fights actually can help as well. Yeah, there's not a lot of vessels in this game either.
No, and he's down 50, 60 supply right now. He's only got the 2-1. His siege, he's got like, what, 1 group of tanks here. Like, maybe he wins this battle, but he definitely doesn't win the next one.
Oh, here we go. Good stasis. Geez. That's the stasis he needed.
Yeah, maybe he still wins this battle, but he definitely doesn't win the next one.
Yeah, there's just not quite enough. And we're going to see Protoss spike up and get maxed out again. It'd be nice if he actually shot down that vessel, by the way.
Nah, man, leave the vessel. Give him some hope.
Give him something to work with here.
Did I tell you, what a good series this has been.
I enjoyed this. I mean, look at SnOW. It's the best PvTer of all of StarCraft 1 history.
Yeah, and
maybe even all of StarCraft history, to be totally honest. We've never seen a Protoss just smash Terrans like this. By the way, that's the recalled army. That will prevent reconnaissance and reinforcements for the push in the middle of the map. So this game is pretty much check and mate.
Yeah. Well, SnOW kind of doing what he likes right now. He's up good 80 supply. He's up so many bases. You see Sharp with a gigantic gas bank right now. He's starting to mine some other locations. Look at that. Is the Arbiter going to kill a building? Have you ever seen this?
Oh, I've seen this.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Whoa!
Wow. Do we unlock something for that?
Yeah.
5 damage at a time.
Actually, 10 on buildings.
10 on buildings.
My friend. Well,
look at you,
9
nerd.
because buildings
Get a life,
armor.
nerd. What a virgin caster over here, guys. Actually, 10 damage on buildings. Whoa! No, this is done, guys. This is just, there is no hope. There is no hope here for Terran, I think.
No.
He's at 100 supply. Now, there is that base in the upper left, but, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
One thing is when Terran starts to lose enough tanks, it's very, very, very difficult to recover. By the way, that D-Matrix is pretty sick.
Oh, that's a sick one, too.
How about this one, Tasteless? I'm very impressed. Sharp.
Yes, Sharp. Very good.
Still going to be eliminated here. Wow, great series. So you're totally right.
Yeah, and I mean, what a pleasure, truly. SnOW shows his real power in the matchup, and you know, to be honest, Sharp is one of the best TvPers in the world. There's no question.
He really is.
I would put him as probably 3rd best Terran versus Protoss, right? I don't know. I guess that's a little bit debatable, but yeah, I think that's about accurate. But SnOW just laying down the law in this series.
So really strong, you know?
Yeah. Well, SnOW goes to the winner's match, which we will have later on today. Sharp goes to the loser match, which we will have later on today.
Yes, we will.
A nice big day of StarCraft. Some good old Star C.
For all you Star gamers out there,
nothing is as good as drinking some Sunny B while watching some Star C. You know what I mean?
Yes. Very impressive stuff. So that does it for our first best of 5. But guys, we got plenty more games on the way here. We're going to have another best of 5. We might have a short intermission here, depending on how long things take. And yeah, a lot more StarCraft action. Join us all day here.
All right. Yeah, I think SnOW is favored to win this group by far, Tasteless, I gotta say.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Well, it's, you know,
he's gonna crush his way out of this
Sharp
group
had like
first.
one special cheese build that worked, and that's cool. But man, everything SnOW does is so perfect. He's so good at controlling Protoss units.
Yeah, his micro is really strong. He definitely has his weak points. His late game macro falls off a bit compared to some other Protosses.
Yeah.
But he makes up for them, obviously, in these other ways. Such an interesting player.
Are we going to go to a commercial here? I'm so confused. We keep doing these shots.
We gotta look at these winner things. Who's the winner? Oh, it's him.
Oh, okay. I do like this, what we're doing with the big screen here. I do like this a lot. It's very cool. Here we are. There's SnOW's Reaver.
There he is.
That's
He's
SnOW right there.
Look at that happy look.
SnOW has joined us.
How many seat shakes you get, little guy?
Oh, hold on. He's going to fall. There we go. Uh-oh. All right. Perfect. Yeah, he's just really good, man. It is inspirational to see how well he controls Reavers, Dragoons. I feel like SnOW, it's not just his PvT's good. He seems to have some of the best early game ever. Like, a lot of times early game, for both the Terran and the Protoss, there's a lot of things that can go wrong on either side.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't make mistakes there. The one game he lost, the 2 Dragoons were actually locked outside of his natural. I mean, the build basically worked, and then Sharp knew that build so well that he didn't even kill the Nexus. He went right up, sat on top of the gateways, and we were both saying, well, maybe this is the one way he could screw that up, but
he was
apparently not.
Yeah, with the 2 goons outside, I guess it made perfect sense with how quick that timing was.
Yeah.
It was much quicker than like a 3-tank 2-fact. Much quicker. Anyways, really, really fantastic series there. I feel like I learned a lot from it. Even though the Terran got like 3-1 to like pretty heavily, I'm like, wow. Sharp actually put on some very good moves during these
Sometimes
games.
watching your race lose can teach you a lot too. You know, you see players making the same mistakes that you can end up making.
To be honest, losing is the best way to learn.
Yeah. A lot of people have fantasies that, you know, the good players log on and don't lose any games and then log back out.
No.
And
unless you're Flash,
you're losing. You should be losing about half of your games.
Yeah, only the very best championship players stay high above that. But even the pro gamers that lose in the round of 16 in KSL, like, those guys are winning, what? It matters who they're playing against, of course, but, like, you should be expecting and actually trying to find opponents to lose half your games at least.
Yeah.
Hopefully even more. That's, like, actually how you get good, right? Like, if Flash is willing to play with you, you can lose 90% of your games and then, like, really learn some stuff.
It's very true. So coming up here, we're going to be going to a break, but I do wonder if we're ever going to see SnOW come out and actually start to win tournaments over and over, like we've seen with Rain.
Over and over.
Like we've seen with Flash, like we've seen with some of these other players. Because SnOW actually, at times, looks like another Flash. You know, at least in this matchup. PvZ, he's getting mapped out. I know that Rain's got PvP so locked down that it's kind of crazy, but he seems like he's getting better and better. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry, we got to go to a break. Just some food for thought for you. When we come back, our next best of 5, don't go away.